All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Ethan here, and today I'm coming to you from a different spot than the type of place I normally film at. I'm near the beach today, and I am actually in Mexico. I'm in Puerto Peñasco, also known as Rocky Point. It's a little city with lots of resorts and very, kind of pretty touristy area, but also not as well known as the more famous beach resort towns in Mexico like Cancun or Cabo or any of those places. Much smaller than those. But this is in the northern Mexican state of Sonora, only about 60 miles from the US border, and it borders Arizona in this area. And today I'm going to do something called the La Choya circuit, which is basically just a series of trails that go around this little mountain here. You can't see all of it from here, but I'm on this side right now. I believe this would be the north side, and then on the other side is where the Gulf of California is, so you can see the water and everything. And the trail goes all around the mountain, and there's also other trails that you can take that go up to the summit and climb different spots all around the peak. Now obviously it's not a very tall mountain. I am at sea level right now, so I believe the highest elevation on this hike is like 400 something feet. It's not a big elevation difference, but it definitely does get you high up enough that you can get some pretty epic views. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start hiking. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll get back to you guys in a bit. All right, just got a little higher up and getting some great views already. So you can see this little area here is the La Choya area, and it's pretty cool. I'm just glad it's cloudy this morning because it is already pretty warm and very humid. I'm not used to hiking in this much humidity, which is interesting because this area is actually in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. So if you drive just like a few miles away from the beach, it gets really dry. But right here, since we're right on the water, it's really humid. But anyway, you can see some more mountains out there in the distance. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep hiking up towards this ridge line and see if I can get up and over and get some views on the other side, because that over there is just kind of a little bay. The actual Gulf is on this side. All right, great views already. Did not take long. I think I've maybe gone up like 150 feet, but it doesn't take much when you're surrounded by stuff that's at sea level. But yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. And you can see it's a little cloudy this morning. It's actually drizzling a little bit when I left my Airbnb this morning, and it is supposed to be raining on and off until about noon today. So, which is good because, like I said, it's keeping it cool, because it was pretty hot here yesterday. And I mean, the humidity is just so high here that like the second you step out of the the second I stepped out of my room this morning is just like stepping into a steam room. So even in the desert, if you're by the ocean, or in this case the Gulf of California, whatever, it's still going to be humid. But anyway, I'm not even really following a trail right now. There's not really any trails, I don't think, that go up to the actual summit. There's a trail that kind of loops around and just follows the kind of just follows around the mountain. You can actually see, so that I believe is the summit. So not very high. Like I said, maybe like 350, 400 feet. I'll have to double check on that. And that's where I'm gonna go, but looks like I'm gonna have to drop back down there first. Well, I'm definitely not going back up that way again. God, that sucked. That was terrible. That was like insanely loose, all the rocks. And there were quite a few very inconveniently placed teddy bear choya cactus, like that little guy over there. And for those of you who don't know, those things are horrible. If you brush up against one, it's a wrap for you, because they literally have these like balls covered in these like ridiculously sharp spikes that will literally fall off of the cactus when they feel movement, and then just stick to whatever, you know, touched it. And you literally have to like use pliers to pull them out of you. It's horrifying. All right, well, I was just hiking on this ATV trail here, kind of just looking for a spot to start heading up towards the summit, which I believe is right up there. That might be a false summit, but it's not gonna be too far away either way. But anyway, I think I found a good spot here. There was actually even a rock heron right there, so clearly other people have used this route to get up as well. And look at that, there's even a sign. So it's not exactly as specific of a sign as I expected, but I'll take it. Looks like this is the way to go to get up to the summit of Cerro La Choya. And by the way, don't murder me. I know my accent is terrible when speaking Spanish. But I try. I'll tell you right now though, when you come out here to Puerto Peñasco, you will find some people that speak Spanish or speak English, but don't expect everybody to speak English. Like I said, it's not like Cancun. You know, there you'll find a lot of English speakers, but here, definitely not as many. I'd say maybe 15% of people here maybe speak English. All right, let's get up there. Well, that was a bummer to see that. I mean, it's cool. That's actually a cooler looking summit than I thought it would be. But yeah, it turns out I'm not really anywhere near the summit. So I actually have to go back down to that ATV trail and then find a way to climb up that mountain. Because that is, I double checked the map to make totally sure, and that is absolutely the summit right there. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought it was this one. But that is okay. I'll just start heading down the ridge, try to make a easier path for myself to get down, because just going down one of these gullies, I found out on the last one, sucks pretty hard. But yeah, either way, I'm here for it. It's beautiful out here. Well, I'm back in this little canyon, which is beautiful. Yeah, I'm definitely going around all these sub peaks on the way back, because climbing down that gully, that was not fun. That was even worse than the first one. But anyway, yeah, it's really nice back here. I'm kind of just hiking this back to see where it goes. If like if I can get to the summit from here, I'll do it. Yeah, looks like people are not exactly very respectful of this area. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, kind of looks like this just dead ends. So I'm gonna hike back the other way and see if there's maybe a better way I can get up to the summit. And if not, I'll just do what I did the last 2 times. Pick a line and start climbing. Nice lizard right there. Pretty big one. I mean, not that big, but sorry, he scurried away. But pretty cool. Probably not gonna see too much wildlife on this hike, considering that I'm surrounded by you know, large resorts and condos. But still, very cool. So you can see there's the summit up there, and I am still kind of trying to debate on what would be the best way to get up there. I'm just kind of seeing how it goes. I don't really care, because I mean, this hike is, you know, pretty short and pretty easy. So, you know, if I end up doing some extra walking, it's not really the end of the world. All right, well, there's that sub peak I was just up at. There's the summit of Cerro La Choya. And from here, I think what I decided on is I'm gonna go up here, get on the ridge, and just follow the ridge up to the summit. I could go straight up one of these gullies, but I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. So I'm gonna go on the ridge, see what it looks like. And I mean, if I get up there and it's different than how it looks down here, then I guess I'll change the plans. But for now, that is the plan. Okay, so I've run into some issues here. Number one, I thought that was the summit up there. Turns out that's still not the damn summit. This map I'm looking at on All Trails it has steered me wrong a few times now. The summit's like somewhere over there. I don't even think you can see it from here. And the other thing is I just ran out of water, because although the temperature is only in the, you know, high 80s right now, it's so humid that it feels like it's 105. And because of that, I have already drank all my water. I only brought 1.5 liters because I assumed that that would be more than enough for a, you know, for a 3-mile hike, 3.5 mile hike in mid 80s weather. But oh, how wrong I was. So all I have left now is this freaking electrolyte beverage. But I'm gonna just get back to the car the easiest way possible, which is just kind of hiking around all of those little sub peaks that I climbed up on the way over here. And I mean, it was still fun, but I'm gonna see what I can do. Like, I'm gonna see if I can maybe stop somewhere and get some more water, and then try to drive around somewhere else and you know, find a better access point to the summit, because you know, where I started that from, it's pretty far away from it actually. Or maybe it's not that far away. Maybe I was just taking like the worst possible routes to get there, because every time I climb up something it'd be like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? And of course it never was. All right, I'm back, and in a different area, and hopefully a little more prepared. I've got 3 liters of water this time instead of 1, and I'm gonna go for it again. So unfortunately, you can't really get much closer than I am right now, because the sand is just really deep. What's up, horse? So yeah, the sand's really deep, which just kind of makes it not doable for, you know, driving my Honda through here. If I had a more capable off-road vehicle, perhaps I would give it a go. But anyway, you can see some hikers right there. So I know the summit is somewhere off in that direction. I don't know exactly where it is, but by God, I'm gonna find that damn summit, and I'm also gonna go out towards the beach. So I will make this happen one way or another. All right, well, that's got to be the summit there. I mean, if it's not that, then I don't know what else it could possibly be. Like, there can't be another taller peak behind it. That's got to be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start heading for that, but before I do, I am gonna go down to the water first. Go down here, check it out. There's lots of ATV trails out here near the beach, and they just kind of weave their way all through this area. So if you're out here hiking, it's pretty easy to just kind of pick up ATV trails as you go. Obviously just, you know, remember where you came from, but it's pretty easy to keep your bearings out here. I mean, it's not like you're in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, I am immediately reminded of why I ran out of water so quick. I'm already drenched in sweat, and I've been walking for like less than 10 minutes. Oh wow, this is beautiful. This is a cool spot right here. There's a ton of storks out on the water, hunting for fish, I'm assuming. And you can see back down there to the city, Puerto Peñasco. That's all part of it. All of that down there. Lots of all the big resorts and fancy condos and stuff are over there. And then the actual like main part of the city is further down that way. Really cool. Beautiful spot. So yeah, I'm gonna go get a little closer to the water, but I'm also gonna hike up that little hill, and then I'll start heading back over towards Cerro La Choya, or La Joya, however you say it. Not gonna lie, this just made all the bullshit worth it. This is a really cool spot here. Look at that view of the coast. That's awesome. And now you can see why they call it Rocky Point. Beautiful, beautiful up here. So yeah, you can see there's just a ton of these big storks all over the place along the shoreline here. And the water's beautiful here. It's like pretty clear. And this is, of course, the Gulf of California. So, like I said, I'm gonna head up there, and then I'll see how I'm gonna try to get myself up to the summit of the peak up there. We'll see how it goes. But man, this is just a beautiful spot right here. This is really cool. This would also be a great spot to go to if you like, you know, checking out tide pools and stuff like that. Because there's definitely lots of, you know, this area does get covered up a little more in higher tide, I can tell. So you could probably find a lot of stuff out here, a lot of little sea creatures. Beautiful views from up here. Really cool. This is definitely turning out to be exactly what I hoped it would be. So I'm gonna go ahead and start heading towards the mountain, and hopefully I'll find a way to climb it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's not like any sort of trail. I couldn't find any online when I looked, but lots of people do still climb the peak. It looks like they just kind of blaze their own trail. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm right at the foot of the peak now, and I think I found what is potentially going to be my route up. You never really know for sure until you're on it, but I'm going to go ahead and just try to just kind of climb up this ridge, and hopefully that'll be a relatively simple way of getting up to the summit. All this work to climb a mountain that's not even 500 feet tall. All right, well, I knew this was going to be a false summit, but that's okay. You can hear the guys on their dirt bikes and ATVs. Very popular area for that here. All these trails are basically ATV and dirt bike trails. And this little sandy hill right here, that's another spot that people love to bring their off-road vehicles and whatever else and see if they can make it up the hill. So that over there is what I thought was the summit, and then you can imagine my shock and dismay when I found out that it was actually that. So now I am definitely on the right track, and that was definitely a great spot to pick to hike up as well, because it was pretty simple. Just basically, you know, I mean, it's off trail, but it doesn't exceed, or at least so far hasn't exceeded class 2 the way that I'm going. So yeah, it's not too bad. And I'll tell you, I am so thankful that it is cloudy today, because if it was sunny, I legitimately don't think I would be able to do this hike. Because I mean, as it is, it is so hot from, I mean, it's now approaching 90 degrees and the humidity is just so high that, yeah, like I said, if you had the sun to go along with it, this would be not doable. But anyway, beautiful spot, and I'm almost there. It's like a doghouse or something right here. Oh no, I guess it's for praying or something, because there's candles in there. Look like a doghouse. Anyway, where that little pole is sticking out of, that is the summit. So I gotta tell you, there was you know, definitely a big part of me today that thought I was not gonna make it up to the summit, and kind of was just like, fuck it, it's not worth the trouble. But I'm glad I came back and finished this hike, because going down to the shore, to the water, and then coming up here to the top of the peak, it's pretty awesome. There is some zip lines up here, it looks like. So I guess if you want to make getting up to the summit of Cerro La Choya easier on yourself, just do the zip line. All right, well, my sweaty ass made it to the summit of Cerro La Choya at a whopping 335 feet. This is a really cool spot, and let me tell you something, I would definitely recommend hiking it. However, if you can come out here, you know, when it's a little less hot and humid, maybe do that. But either way, still a really cool summit. This is the highest point in Puerto Peñasco by far, and a great way to get amazing views of the whole city over there, all the little resort villages and golf courses and stuff out here. This is the, of course, the off-roading sand hill that they have. Really cool. And then you can also see the mountains that are further north. So those are all part of a biosphere reserve, like a big national park that's a little bit closer to the US border, and but it's entirely within Mexico. And that's a really cool spot, because there's some there's mountains, there's some really cool sand dunes, and there's some volcanic craters as well. And so I'm definitely going to check that area out if I have time. I mean, I do have a plan for what I'm going to be doing while I'm in Mexico, but hopefully I'll have time to check that, to at least stop for a few hours and do a short hike or something. The biggest issue I have with doing hikes right now, like while I'm out here, you know, I'm on vacation, and of course, like any normal person, I don't want to just lay on the beach and relax the whole time. I want to go hike. But the problem is that it is very hot. So Puerto Peñasco is cooler than the rest of this area because it's right on the water. But I mean, you just drive a few miles north into the desert, and you know, instead of being, because here in Puerto Peñasco it's supposed to go up to like the low 90s today, out there it's going to be like 110, you know. So like for example, I'll be in Mexicali a little bit later on this trip, and the day that I'm going to be there it's supposed to be like 112 there. So very massive temperature differences just from being a few miles away from the water. But either way, still really cool. I'm really glad I made it to the summit here, and these views are pretty awesome. You can see back down to the area where I was walking along the shoreline, and I thought this was just a random pole sticking out of the ground, but it is a cross, which is generally what marks most summits in Mexico, so it does not surprise me. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here for now, and I'll get back to you guys a little bit when I'm hiking down. I probably, since it's going downhill, it won't be as bad. I'm probably just gonna hike down the side of this sand hill here. Normally I wouldn't want to do that because hiking up deep sand like that would be awful, but and plus not as fun as hiking up that ridge and everything. But on the way down it should be easier to just go straight down there and then back there where I parked my car. All right, well, the summit is up over there. I just hiked down here and then down off the ridge. I'm getting back down into the sand hill area now, which like I said earlier, I would never want to hike up this way, but going down this way is totally fine. So yeah, I'm gonna start hiking down this sand and get back to my car hopefully pretty quickly here. All right, well, I am basically back at the road now. A little bit, probably like a little bit less than a half a mile to the car from here. But anyway, there it is, the summit up there. Absolutely beautiful. And the sun just came out. It finally burned away most of the cloud cover. And yeah, let me tell you something, it is really hot. Still humid, but now that the sun's out, it's even hotter. I'd say it's probably like in the mid 90s now. Maybe not mid 90s, but it is hot. Okay, well, I will spare you guys the remainder of the walk on this little ATV trail. You can see right there, that's where the zip line place is, and that's where my car is parked. So I'll be back there in a minute. But as I sit here, literally being cooked alive by the sun and the sand and everything else, I am going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Despite the mishaps, it was still a fun hike, and I'm definitely glad I did it. If you're wanting to do this, I would say definitely park where these zip lines are, not where the All Trails map tells you to park. It's a much shorter hike. You can easily get down to the water, climb around on the cliffs around the water, and then hike up to the peak, and then just like I did, come right down this sand hill and right back to where you parked. Ends up being about a 3-mile loop if you do that. With all the extra stuff I did, ended up being about a little over 5 miles of hiking total for me today, which still under normal circumstances would be a short hike. But with the heat and humidity and everything, and now with the sun being up, it's just brutal. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon for another hiking adventure.